What is life path number 3? Before we get started, if you'd like to efficiently use your life path and destiny number and as well manifest from today, click the link in my description below. As well, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. The life path number, also known as the destiny number, is the number that results from the numerological reduction of your date of birth. It offers insight about the core of your personality, and will also give you a greater understanding of the pathway to success in your life. If your life path number is 3, you are driven by creativity. The numerology definition of 3 is the number of creation. You are a romantic in the historical sense of the word. You believe in the importance of self-expression as a way to be a part of the world. How you choose to express yourself varies with the individual, but all life path 3s should have some form of creativity that conveys the feelings to the outside world. You have a great connection with your own feelings, which leads you to feel very at home with yourself and the greater universe. Your sense of introspection is very well tuned, although never self-indulgent. You can self-criticize very effectively, but you don't wallow in it. Life path, or destiny number 3, is the path of the artist. You are excellent at communications, in the forms of visual and performing art, writing, speaking, and presentation. You are very charismatic, which draws people to you and your creations. You are optimistic and generous, and always take the best possible view towards your fellow people. You can let a lot slide off your back, and aren't much of one for holding a grudge, unless someone has really done you wrong. Live for the moment is your life motto. You are much more interested in making the most out of today rather than limiting yourself for the sake of improving your chances tomorrow. You want to live each day with joy and wonder, and have a childlike sense of awe about the world, your fellow humans, and nature. Your joie de vivre is infectious, but unfortunately, it's far from unusual for you to end up shooting yourself in the foot by living today so fully that tomorrow ends up really sucking. You have the most problems when it comes to handling money, since you'd always rather spend than save. You're not the best at shouldering responsibility, and when you feel bored, emotionally wounded, or artistically repressed, you can tend to withdraw and become moody. It takes quite a bit to punch you down like this, but once you're down, you can sulk with the best of them. Using numerology, people on life path 3 can come to have a better, more rounded understanding of their own naturally creative and artistic personality traits. By learning about these, you can then find the best way to use them in order to find success and achieve their goals. By unlocking the path meaning of life path 3, and coming to a fuller understanding of how it affects your outlook on life, you can use the positive points of the third path to your advantage, and find ways to avoid becoming entrapped by the negative parts. Life path number 3 in love and romance. A successful relationship for a 3 should be one that builds on your sense of optimism, joy, and creativity. You will be happiest with a fellow spontaneous soul, although someone too wild, another 3, for example, can sometimes cause problems because there is no grounding thread to the relationship. A bit of grounding is important, but too much can be exhausting for a 3. No matter who you decide to get into a relationship with, your individual self-expression will remain very important to you, and you're not likely to want to give your whole self over to another person. Your individuality is too important to you for that. This is absolutely fine, of course, but make sure that your partner is on the same page as you about this. You wouldn't want to get into a romance with a 2, and then not understand why they're upset at you all the time. You will have great success in relationships with 5s, as they are spontaneous and adventurous, and have just as much of the live in the moment attitude as you do. They will bring out the big liver in you. There will never be a dull moment in your relationship, although there might be a few scares, because you both live life so fully that you can sometimes get yourselves or each other in trouble. 7 is also an excellent choice for a relationship with a 3, for they are very thoughtful and intuitive, and will bring out your creative and artistic side. They're not much for the wild and crazy lifestyle that you might want to live, but the 2 of you can strike a very happy balance. Your emotional styles are very compatible, and you will not be at all inclined to fight or drift apart. Relationships with the more practical signs, like 4 and 8, may cause issues, because they will be constantly compelled to criticize you for your flakiness, and you might simply find them mind-bendingly boring. Your attitudes towards the world are simply in complete opposition to each other, and you struggle to reconcile them. It's worth having a couple of these numbers in your life, since they can bring you down into the real world when you start to float away, but romances with them aren't generally in either of your best interests. You just don't have the same innate opinions about the world, or about how relationships should work, and it can be extremely tiring to share a life together. A note: remember, as always, that numerological compatibility is not a substitute for the human factor that makes all of us unique. If it were as easy as compatible destiny numbers, you might as well be the exact same person as anyone born on the same day. Always take personal variations into account. Life path number 3 in careers and business. In numerology, 3 is a very independent number and not one that fits nicely into other people's categories. This is great for art, but not so great for business. Many 3s have difficulty choosing a career, settling into a job, or persisting along one job path for very long. However, with an understanding of your path meaning, you can avoid some of the issues that so many 3s face in the workplace. It is absolutely crucial that you consider your career path long and hard. Follow your passion may seem like good advice, but the problem is that your passions change quickly, frequently, and unexpectedly. Following your passion today might lead to a job that means nothing to you tomorrow. You also aren't necessarily the most stick-to-it-ive of the numbers, so the alternative path of choosing one skill set and working on it so hard that you become the best isn't exactly ideal for you either. If choosing a career where the whole path is joyful, and working so hard along one path that it becomes joyful, are both such difficult ways to go about job searching for number 3s, then what are you supposed to do? Everyone's path will be unique, of course, but you will be best served by taking a few things into account. First, what common threads connect most of your past interests? Some 3s are driven by art, some by humanitarian efforts, some by working with other people. There will be something that connects the majority of the things you've been passionate about, and you can make an educated guess that work involving this will be of interest to you in the future too. Second, seek out work that changes frequently. You aren't the best suited to work that has you doing more or less the same thing every day. Work that involves solving problems and puzzles may appeal, for example, coordination positions for the more social 3s, or web development for the more technologically inclined. Third, do your best to find a career that gives you some free time to pursue other interests. Contract or freelance work can be extremely attractive, since you can take breaks between projects to travel, volunteer, or pursue other interests. Being self-employed isn't always the best idea, though, because you may find that without someone breathing down your neck once in a while, the boring parts of work may not get done on time, or at all. It's a rare and lucky 3 who has a job that they're willing to dedicate their whole lives to for many years. The majority are happier when they have space to do some other things. Finally, seek work with people who have playful attitudes, and an appreciation for your creative spirit. Working with a bunch of dull co-workers is even worse to many 3s than doing work that you don't enjoy. Good, exciting people can inject joy into even the dullest tasks. You will almost definitely want to spend some time experimenting with different career paths. While this is fine for a time, beware of spending too much time experimenting. It's tempting to drop every job when it gets dull, but this won't serve you well in the long run, because even the best job will have dull days, and sometimes it's better to push through those than start all over again. Finding fulfillment on life path number 3. Number 3's meaning encourages people with this destiny number to pursue their creative, passionate interests. You will find purpose in expressing yourself through art, creation, and communicating with others. Because creativity comes so naturally to you, you might be inclined to dismiss it as normal, believing that everyone has the same well of inspiration that you have, and are just choosing not to use it because using it too much is a bad idea. This isn't even slightly true. In fact, this mindset is one of the greatest roadblocks that many 3s face when they're trying to find and pursue a fulfilling life path. Everyone is creative in their own ways, but your approach to the world is truly unique, and other people genuinely don't find creativity coming as naturally to them as it comes to you. Once you come to realize how unique your skills are, you can find a lot more success and fulfillment through using them. You can start displaying them more freely once you become aware that other people aren't hiding these feelings, and therefore that there is no reason for you to hide them. It is important that you find some subjects or activities in life that you can dig deeply into, swimming against your natural tendency to always move rapidly from one thing to the next. By choosing a few things to commit yourself to in a more long-term fashion, whether these things are careers, people, or causes, you will be able to put your creative skills to more effective use. Your creativity can only do so much good when it's only directed towards the same thing for a few weeks or months. There is so much more good to be done when you can dedicate it to something for years, even a lifetime, as long as you really are dedicated to that thing. You have a dynamic energy with other people that's positively infectious, which can also be a great way to find fulfillment. Build lots of relationships with a wide variety of people, and you'll find yourself on a joyful path. Relationships that are full of mirth and humor are excellent to counteract your occasional moody moments and emotional lows, which, while not very common, can be crippling when they occur. Also beware cutting yourself off from others. As social as you are, which is very social, at times, you can feel like no one else really understands you. You can fall victim to feelings of being all alone in a crowded room, where you are surrounded by friends but don't feel like you're fully yourself with any of them. Make sure that your group of friends includes some probing souls who you feel you can fully open up to, as well as some more glib and jokey friends. By surrounding yourself with a variety of friends, and pursuing a variety of projects and interests, you can keep your life feeling fresh, and avoid the feelings of boredom and stagnation that troublesome threes. Final thoughts: once you understand the number 3, numerology can help you make choices that will guide you to a joyful life. Your creativity and charisma are extremely positive qualities, and they will have an infinitely more positive effect on your life when you learn ways to use them to your best advantage by gaining some focus. Relationships are usually not the foremost issue on the mind of most threes, but a meaningful relationship can be extremely beneficial. Make sure that you are choosing someone who has an attitude of optimism and joy that is similar to yours, but who perhaps has a little more sense of being grounded or practical. A combination of joy and practicality is the key to almost every successful relationship, and that goes double for threes, who can sometimes rush too far onto the joy side, and not hang on to the practicality as they should. By integrating creativity into your work, either by finding work that gives you a lot of creative freedom and intellectual stimulating, or by doing work that gives you lots of free time to pursue other interests, or both, you can protect your lifestyle and avoid ennui. While you don't need to be a single-minded 1 or an eminently practical 4, you do need to find some stability and consistency for your life, in order to avoid feelings of being lost, or, from a more practical perspective, issues like low paychecks and chronic bad relationships. Fortunately, along with all your natural joie de vivre, threes have a natural resiliency that will make it easy for you to drop even the worst situations to go for something much better. Knowing the number 3's meaning can help you develop a lifestyle that is more consistent with your personal, internal desires and goals. By being aware of some of the tendencies, even the pitfalls, of 3, you can avoid the negative ones, and stay on track with the positive ones, leading to a well-rounded and highly successful overall life experience. Can you feel the power of your life path number 3? Are you a creative and spontaneous soul with a great interest in artistic and intellectual pursuits? Do you sometimes struggle to stay dedicated to a single path, and tend to take a grass is always greener attitude? How will you harness your destiny number's natural energy to fulfill your goals and reach your dreams? Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you found it useful or enjoyable. Share it to share the advice contained here with other people who share your life path number.